What's good, guys? Welcome back to Ron's Rides. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video where I'm here at Alfa Romeo Daytona Beach with a used 2019 Alfa Romeo Giulia Quadrifoglio, because you guys should know by now I'm shopping between a used Gran Turismo and a used Quadrifoglio, and I'm kind of trying to keep a budget. And well, I came to my home turf because they have a pre-owned Quadrifoglio for sale, as you guys can see, in Alfa Rosso. So we are going to take this thing for a drive. We're going to do a spin around this, make sure everything checks out, and see if it's worth bumping up my budget. Because if you guys didn't remember, well, I set a budget, and with the last model, well, that white Quadrifoglio, it met the budget, but there were a couple of things, a couple of red flags I wanted to kind of look at. And then you guys told me in that video, well, I should up my model year to the 2020 model year, which I'm not quite there yet, but I went up 2 years. And you guys said just up the budget because the 2020s up are the best use of the Quadrifoglio when it comes to the overall styling, design, platform, and everything when it comes to tech. So we're getting there, but they're hard to find. This is a 2019 that is on sale here, and we're gonna go over everything today and see, well, if it's worth my time, and maybe I pull the trigger. Let's get it. Now, big shout out to Alfa Romeo Daytona Beach for letting me take a spin around this Quadrifoglio. Now, if I don't end up getting this, that doesn't mean you guys can't. Check the link in the description. Check out the listing, Carfax, everything that you guys need to know about this Giulia Quadrifoglio. See if it might be the right one for you. Now, we know what this means underneath here. That dry carbon fiber hood is holding what should be done being made. Alfa Romeo said that in June, which it is now July, that they would stop making this twin turbo 2.9 liter V6, Ferrari derived V6 at that, with 505 horses, 443 pound-feet of torque. That means that if they no longer make this right here, this power plant, this engine, that's it. That's it. This is it. So you can no longer buy these new beyond the super sport models that are supposed to be coming out by late summer, early fall. So with that said, if you see these on the used market, that's going to be it, because you can either get them new or get them pre-owned like this one here, which that's what makes this so special. Obviously the performance, 191 top, 3.7 for the 0 to 60, carbon fiber drive shaft, 50/50 weight distribution, 8-speed ZF transmission, all that made it very famous. But the fact that you can't get these anymore, just a different perspective when it comes to everything here, and it's gonna be sad. We're gonna miss it. So here we are with an Alfa Rosso Giulia Quadrifoglio for the 2019 model year. So most of what you guys are going to see is what you see in 2024. There's only a few changes when it comes to the exterior, and the interior is a little bit more prominent. But when it comes to the looks, you guys will not be able to tell much of a difference between this model year and obviously 24, because this was such a timeless design when it came out that Alfa Romeo didn't change much about it, and for good reasoning. Now, with that said, really we want to take a spin around the condition of this car, get up close to it, see any kind of damages or scratches, anything like that, which so far I have not seen much at all. Now, with a 2019 model year, I definitely upped a couple years and upped the budget. So we got to make sure that this thing would pay off if this would be the car that we would get and pull the trigger on. So let's take a really good detailed spin around this thing and see, well, is this the one? Now, just to let you guys know right off the bat, when this was brand new 5 years ago, the sticker was $77,000 and some change. You guys will see that. If you check the links down below, it will give you the Carfax. You can get the original MSRP and everything like that. But there was only 2 options on this specific model that we have here today. Alfa Rosso, well, that's not it. All right, the paint was standard. So this was a standard color that you guys got in that model year. No cost option. What do you guys think that the pricing and the extra options were, the 2 options? Well, there's only one on the exterior. Take a quick guess. It's the wheels. The 5-hole wheels were an extra charge. In the interior, the level 2 ADAS that was the extra charge. That's it. Those are the only two options this has. So this was basically a standard model in 2019. So you guys will see we do have the carbon fiber Scudetto up front, which, hey, I missed that, right? We don't get that on 2024 model years. So that looks beautiful with the carbon fiber active front lip. You know, only one in this segment with a retractable downforce at 70 miles per hour to help give this thing the best performance. You also see the bi-xenon headlamps, which we know that these models had the bi-xenons and they just changed for the 2024 model year, so nothing crazy there. You guys will see the grille pattern is a little bit different than 2024 model year, but not much there. And then obviously the nostrils in the hood, because there is a roaring V6 under there. Other than that, this front fascia looks pretty good, and I'm kind of wondering, do they have PPF on this thing, paint protection film? Because this actually looks really pristine when it comes to the front end. Now the side profile, really not much has changed at all. You get the 19-inch dark 5-hole wheels, which again, this is a option out version, but the calipers are standard. So with this was an option, and you had to pay for that with the monochrome center cap, drilled rotors, Brembo brakes. And then the calipers, well, they're just the regular, like, kind of, I don't want to say anodized black, but just like black look that's kind of faded, but it has the Alfa Romeo script in red. You have the Quadrifoglio cloverleaf badge, only reserved for these models. And obviously, we have the extra airflow here through the front fender, all right, with that mesh grille. And then, not mesh grille, honeycomb grille. And then the carbon fiber side skirt, which you guys know about the Quadrifoglio, very, very aggressive, very sharp when it comes to that. You do have the mirror cap that is not in carbon fiber like the other model we had. Gloss black window moldings, gloss black B-pillar. We have the roof that is in the color of the car, Alfa Rosso, and then same with the shark fin antenna. Other than that, it's pretty standard when it comes to the side profile, so there's not much that has changed here at all. And just like the rear, this is basically what you guys are seeing in 2024, minus the tail lamps. The tail lamps are done in full red to wear 2024. They're in a clear housing. So the biggest thing you'll notice right there, but that's it. You still have the carbon fiber trunk spoiler done very beautifully there. You still have the Alfa Romeo insignia right there in the center. You still have the very aggressive rear diffuser with the quad exhaust tips done in the chrome flavor. Obviously these are a little darker because they're a little dirty, but then you guys will see that they look pretty good, and the diffuser is in good shape, unlike the white one, the white Quadrifoglio that we just reviewed last video. So yeah, this looks pretty pristine when it comes to all body panels of this car. So I think they did a good job at keeping this in the best shape possible for a 5-year car. What do you guys think? Now, as you can see in the trunk, you have your original floor mats back here, in case you guys were wondering where those were. And you guys will see that the 2017 model, it did not have the partition with the rear seats. There was no feed through, it was a bench seat. So with this one here in 2019, you see that we have a 40-20-40 rear split. So that was the difference. I told you guys they ended up changing that a couple of years after. So that one, just a bench, you couldn't fold down the rear seats. This one you can. So just to kind of compare the other one between the 2017 and 2019, what you could do when it comes to the rear trunk space, you guys will see the levers to fold down the seats. So you do have that as well. And then underneath, well, there's not much but the tire inflate kit, screwdriver, tow hook, per usual, battery on the side there. So all the same stuff you would need, but just to show that off to you guys, that the partitions are actually there for the rear seats fold. Also, just like the other one, I wanted to check out the lighting so you guys could see if the lighting was up to par when it comes to the bi-xenons working, the flashes working, the LEDs working. So with that, I wanted to just show this off. And again, like I said before, well, these bi-xenons, they're not necessarily that outdated because they just changed for the 2024 model year. So keep that in mind. And you guys will also see the flasher right there on the mirror cap as well. And then you will see the tail lamp here with the reflector illuminated, the LEDs, the fog lamp there as well. And remember, these are red lights compared to the clear ones for the 2024 model year. But all these can be changed out. If I want to change out the rear lights, if I want to change out to the 3+3 tri-LED headlamps, I can as well. So this is just stuff that I want to make sure that there's no electrical problems and everything works with the lights, just in case I want to keep them this way. So now we need to take a look at the interior because we have to see what kind of condition it's in after 6 years. Let's talk about it. 2019 to 2024. What are we looking like? Well, as you guys will see, we have a couple of things in here that we don't necessarily have on the newer models, like the Alcantara inserts on the seats. And as you guys can see, the sport seats here with the Alcantara setup and the extra thigh support. Well, we can't get that in 2024. We can get the green and white stitching, but you have to get the carbon fiber Sparkle Racing bucket seats over these sports seats. The regular sports seats are just full leather, all black. But you get the green and white with the Alcantara insert, so that's really cool. Leather and Alcantara seems like it's held up pretty decently. You got the cracks and everything like that, but again, that is expected in the leather after 5 years. Side still looks pretty good in aluminum, and our brake pedal, gas pedal, and our dead pedal, all done in aluminum there as well. And then you come and look at the door paneling here, you will see extended leather at the top. You will see that green and white stitching we got, and the carbon fiber surrounds as well. Now keep in mind that the carbon for the 2024 model year is the 3D carbon. If you like the gloss carbon, you have to go before the 2024 model year. So this is the gloss carbon. Again, they didn't have 3D carbon back then. So with that said, Harman Kardon sound system is still the same. Soft touches on the armrest and the green and white stitching. Now let's go inside. So what are we looking at here? Well, it's a little different setup than you guys are used to. 2020, the year after this, is when Alfa made some changes to the Giulia and Stelvio. So changes being, they changed the steering wheel setup a little bit. You guys will notice a little bit difference here. They changed the infotainment. That was a big one, but that still carries over to 2024 today. And they changed the gear selector and all this kind of center console stuff here as well. So with that said, this is the older flavor right before that. So you guys will see the steering wheel is done in full leather, and this one is not optioned with the Alcantara on the insert like the other one did. So you see this part here, well, the inners and the top was done normally in Alcantara, but you don't have that option on this one. This is full leather, which is fine because Alcantara will fade over time, especially with your greasy hands on the steering wheel. Not mad at that. Start stop buttons the same, driver assistance, and the hands-free with radio controls, same that we're used to. This bar right here, this aluminum style bar, was changed in that year on 2020. So you will have like the insert here in carbon fiber and everything like that. I don't care as much with that, and you really could change out the steering wheel if you cared that much. Column mounted paddle shifters are still the same as well. And then you have obviously the tack here, the gauges, the TFT screen. All this is pretty standard because 2024 they went digital, but all years prior to that, well, this is what you looked at. So not much has changed here. Quadrifoglio badge there because quad. Now you also have your turbine vents are the same, your start stop, your parking sensors, lighting controls, all the same. Leather dash done, all right, with the green and white stitching as well. And again, you can only get the green and white stitching on this setup here. Now with that said, you also have the carbon fiber insert here over the glove box and the glove box here. And then as you guys will see, we do have with the seating here our Carfax, which we can go over in just a moment so you guys can see how clean that is. This passenger seat looks really good. Means they were riding solo dolo for a while because this doesn't even look like it was really sat in. There's no cracks or anything on the high touch points or seat points, shall I say, of the seat. So that looks pretty good. Now you also have the armrest here done in Nero with Rosso stitching, and then you do have a USB 2.0 and USB aux, two USB 2.0s and an aux with a 12-volt plug-in there as well. Now, the center console is a little different than you guys are used to, so you guys will see that I can push this and close the carbon door. And then you will also see that we do have the 2-track system when it comes to the gear shifter here. All right, and then the Italian flag right there as well with our radio controls. This is actually going to be our analog dial for our infotainment system here because this system does not actually have a touchscreen on it. It's actually used through this here. So this is how you would actually go through everything here. All right, no touchscreen option here. You also have your DNA drive mode selector, which we know here. All right, so dynamic opens up those valves. You got the damper soften there. All right, that's everyday kind of like zooming through traffic. This is everyday cruising through traffic, which is natural mode. This is your most fuel economy, good highway, good cruise control, stuff like that. And then race mode, that's the bad boy right there, where your traction control goes off, your driver assistance goes off. You get the most out of this car. This is where you get crazy, all right? So we know that quite well. Electric parking brake there as well, USB 2.0 plug-in here, and then dual zone climate control with heated seats, heated steering wheel, and then we talked about that infotainment screen right there. All right, so I'm gonna treat this drive time as if I was like doing a long-term review. So what I mean by that is normally when you guys see me get in these cars, well, first of all, I'm not planning on purchasing them, for one. Two, well, I do treat it as if, you know, you are going to get the most out of the car. So you're doing the most res, you're doing the most exciting drive points and everything like that. But this time around, I'm gonna actually take it easy for a bit. Hold on. Now, it's not like I'm spending, obviously, hours with this car, but I wanna take it slow for a second. Reason being is, well, you know, if I own this car or any Giulia Quad, I'm not going to be driving it in race mode every single day at every single stoplight blasting off. As much as I would love to, I'm actually going to use natural mode every now and then to zoom in and out of traffic every now and then. I'm going to want my traction and my driver assistance at that point, which is why I would use dynamic mode. Still get a little bit of power, but at the same time, I'm not going balls to the wall. Also, I'm going to use natural mode just every day, bumper to bumper, you know, going to the grocery store and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to use that mode, and I'm going to get on the highway and use advanced efficiency and cruise and everything like that. So I need the Giulia to not only perform in race mode and give me, you know, balls to the wall, no traction control and no driver assistance and all that, but I'm going to actually need it to do all those other things very well to be a good, I don't want to say daily driver, because I'm not going to daily drive it. I would, you know, like I said, it would be a weekend warrior. But at the same time, I would like to be able to enjoy it on a day-to-day basis. So, you know, with that said, it's one of those things to where, you know, I have to have it do everything for me to perform well. And, you know, owners of Giulias and Giulia Quadrifoglios and stuff like that, they know how they perform on a day-to-day, especially the Quadrifoglio models. And, you know, I haven't really gotten a chance to operate it like that. So I definitely will take you guys' input on how you like it as something that you could drive around for hours on the weekend. Or if you do commute every day to work and, you know, you're in traffic and stuff, how is the drive? Is it comfortable? Is the suspension, is it stiff? Are the seats long lasting for you and comfortable? And the driving dynamics, is it too rough? Is it too, you know, too much jerky throttle response? And is it all that stuff that is going to make it, I don't want to say a little less enjoyable, but it's not going to be ideal for day-to-day driving. As you guys can see here, I'm doing just fine. This is pretty standard. I don't feel anything, I don't want to say out of the ordinary, but like, I feel like this is just a comfortable, smooth drive that I'm doing here, and I am in dynamic mode. Let me change it down to natural. I can tell the exhaust note's gone, so you don't get as much like drone or anything like that, which is nice for a just standard quiet drive. So hey, I'll take that. And then obviously if it's efficiency, I would use basically if I was just cruising, trying to get the most fuel efficiency and things like that. As you guys note, this is probably the first time you've probably seen me drive a Quadrifoglio without banging on the paddle shifters right away. And for a good reason. Again, I'm just trying to test it out on a day-to-day and see how I like it like this. So yeah, this is tame, this is weird, but it actually feels pretty good, you know. And obviously being 43,000 miles and, you know, well, 6 years old, you know, it's definitely going to be one of those things to where, well, actually, hold on, no, it's 2019, 5 years old. It's definitely going to be one of those things to where, how does it run? Is it running smoothly? You know, is everything feel like it's, you know, transitioning the right way? And so far, so good. So I'm not mad at it. Brakes work. Brakes work pretty well, you know. So I think that, you know, just judging from my little time doing this, again, this is not a full real world test, but just taking it easy for a moment. There's a little bit of zen and a little bit of peace of mind knowing that this car on a day-to-day basis could possibly be something that if I were to drive more than 2 days a week, you know, or if I were to take, you know, out in the city and everything like that, it's not just crazy balls to the wall all the time, like I'm used to it, you know. And again, I know that sounds weird, but this is what I do. I review these cars and I show off what I can in the best way possible in the amount of time that I have possible, and that means that I have to bang the gears. But don't think that I wasn't going to bang the gears today. So, race mode. We're gonna get out of this corner. And we are going to blast it. All right. Yeah, she still moves. She still moves. I put the GoPro like in the worst spot because it's like in the middle of like where I'm at, like where I'm looking, should I say. But yeah, this is a nice place to be. So I'm kind of like looking around it, but oh man, this is awesome. I'm just testing this out to make sure this is, you know, for research purposes, this is good for me. This is obviously going to be pretty good, but yeah, this is dope. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Wow, there's a lot of cops right there. I don't know if you guys can see in my rear view. There's a lot of bike cops for some reason there. Oh, well, I guess we'll do a couple more blips and slow this down. Oh, there's like some sort of parade, like Mustangs. Oh, wow. Okay. So the Ford dealership is right here, so it must be like a Mustang meet. I don't know. That's pretty crazy. But this is what I'm focused on. I'm focused on this. Again, there's so many Mustangs. You hear it? I'm sure you heard that. There's so many Mustangs, I'm so distracted. But again, I just wanted to take this for a quick spin. I just wanted to get the best of both worlds. Quiet and calm and chill. And then that. Again, sorry my camera angle. I'm looking kind of like, put it right in the still. I don't know why I did that. I'm kind of looking around the camera to make sure I got a good view of both. But oh my God. That just, ooh, between 4,000 and 5,000 RPM, this thing just screams. Oh, yes. All right, so wonderful time, per usual. Quadrifoglio, just definitely has my heart in certain ways. So with that said, yeah, I mean, I'm always sold when I get inside of a quad, so this is no difference right here. So that was a fun drive, but after all of that, okay, we know that the car drives well, and it sounds well, and it's fun. And obviously I didn't push it too hard. Again, I just wanted to do a more realistic test when it came to driving this car and make sure that it could perform on a day-to-day drive, or it could perform when I'm pushing it, and maybe, you know, something that I would do on a track or something like that. You know, just, I needed all of it. I needed it to be well-rounded. So with that said, this is a great buy. It's out of the budget. Can I make it work? Who knows? Should I go for it? You know, who knows? I mean, it's really just, is this the spec that I want? Alfa Rosso, all right, with the green and white stitching in the interior. It's a good looking spec. You know, for me, the Trofeo white was obviously, I mean, come on, it's Trofeo white. So it's a color that they don't make anymore. And if this was Rosso Comp, well then I would definitely be talking more about it as well, and that would sway my decision even more. So it's a lot of things to take into play when it comes to this, if I'm gonna spend the extra money, what am I really getting? Well, I'm getting less miles, 12,000 less miles than the other one. I'm getting, let's see, 2 years newer. So that's pretty good. They're both in basically the same condition. This one having a better rear diffuser than the other one. So that beats that. But this one doesn't have carbon fiber mirror caps to where the other one did. And again, the paint. But I mean, that one had the two-tone interior, this one doesn't. So there's some trade-offs between them both. So I'm still trying to figure out, like, which one do I like the most? Which one am I willing to take the chance on? Should I buy from an Alfa dealership with Alfa techs versus a Mazda dealership, you know, where might not know necessarily how to care for the car, or, you know, you just trust these people more. This is my home base. So there's a lot of things to take into play, but after that drive, man, I'm really contemplating, but in a very hard spot, I'll say it that way. But, you know, you can't wipe the smile off my face, as you guys can tell, because I enjoy being around these cars. Now, since we have a pre-owned model here and we're actually doing a little car shopping, this is good to have here from Carfax. So you guys will see the breakdown here. So you see the VIN, you see the name of the car, everything like that, what it has on it and all that. So they have it at 45,000 even on their actual website, but the black book retail is 48,225. So you got everything here that you need to know about the car. So again, service records, the owners, where it was purchased, all the warranty work, it is all here, and you can check all of this stuff out in the Carfax report as well. So this looks pretty clean when it comes to a lot of things. I know when it comes to service and Alfas, or just the Italian cars in general, you definitely have to be very wary of making sure that the previous owner took care of it, because when you take care of these cars, they'll take care of you. But if you neglect these cars, well, they're not too forgiving. So you got to make sure you get all these services done right. And with that said, this is a high performance vehicle. You're going to be using it like a high performance vehicle, which means you're going to be banging through these gears. You're going to be pushing it to the limit, and it's going to need a tune-up or so after, so because you're not driving it like a grandma, you're actually pushing it. So you push it, you bring it back to health, push it, bring it back to health. You have to do both. You can't do one or the other. So again, just keep in mind that it's a clean Carfax. It's got all the documentation. It looks like a lot of the service that has been done. And there's only been 2 owners with this car in the past 5 years. So again, keep that in mind when you're looking at these cars. Just make sure you get the history report. Make sure there's no accidents, no missed warranties, nothing like that when it comes to all of these models. But this is a pretty clean one. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be worth the price bump, that's for sure. All right, guys, so 43K, 45,000, pretty good condition, right? What do you guys think? Should I do it? What should I worry about? Red flags, anything you guys are seeing when you check out the links and see the Carfax and see all the reports for maintenance and everything like that. Things I should keep my eye on. Again, I mentioned that serpentine belt, which is every 4 years, but it's about $2,000 because of parts and labor. It's a big service. Do I make sure that that's been done and make sure all the services and everything are up to date so this car can perform for me and I don't get it and it completely just is a money pit? So drop those comments down below. What do you guys think? Any advice is definitely welcome. So with that said, if you guys did enjoy the video today, give it a big thumbs up. As usual, we gotta get it up in the rankings so I can afford to get one of these cars. And also make sure you check the links in the description. You wanna help further support the channel and subscribe, but click the notification bell so you don't miss one video. And we will see you guys in the next one. Peace.